Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Arya Govind Prabhu, for doing the Mangalacharan for us to put us in the right mode. We are reading the Srimad Bhagavatam. We are on Canto 1, Chapter 14, which is the disappearance of Lord Krishna, text 30, 29 today. We can start with reading the text and the translation and purport. And I'll try to reach out to Mataji. Arya Govind Prabhu, will you be able to take over? I will go out and
text number
28-29.
Okay.
Mataji, I can read also if there is nobody available.
Okay, Mataji, go ahead. Read Mataji.
Are you sure, Prabhuji?
Sure.
Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 14, text 28 and 29. Kechit Raja Huka Jivati Asat Putro Asya Chanujaha Radhika Sasato Akriro Jayanta Gada Saranaha Asata Kushalam Kachid Yechu Satrujit Adayaha Kechidaste Sukham Ramo Bhagavan Sattvatam Prabhu. So do we read the word-to-word translation also?
Since we have time, Mataji, we can read the word to word quickly. We will not repeat, but you can continue.
Okay. Kachit, whether Raja, the king, Ahuka, another name of Ugrasena, Jivati, still living, Asat, mischievous, Putra, son, Asya, he, Cha also, Anuga, younger brother, Radhika, Sasutaha, along with sons, Kritavarma, Akrura, Jayanta, Gada, Sarana, Asate, they all, Kushalam, in happiness, Kachid, whether, ye, they, Cha also, Satrujit, Adaya, headed by, Kachit, whether, Aste, are they, Shukham, all right, Rama, Balaram, Bhagavan, the personality of Godhead, Sattvatam, of the devotees, Prabhu, protector. Translation. Ugrasena, Ugrasena, whose son was a mischievous king, Kamsa.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, can I take over? So that
Sorry.
It's okay.
It's okay, Mataji. I read this and then you can take over. Sorry, I'll start again. Ugrasena, whose son was a mischievous Kamsa, and his younger brother still living. Radhika and his son Kritavarma, happy. Akrura, Jayanta, Gada, Sarana, and Sutrajit, all happy. How is Balaram, the personality of Godhead and the protector of devotees? So you want to read the purport or shall I continue?
Hare Krishna, Mataji has joined us, so let us ask her for guidance.
Okay.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, Danvat Pranam. Accept our humble obeisances on behalf of everybody who have joined this group and are about to join. Mataji, we have just read the text 28-29 and the translation, word to word and translation. Would you like us to continue or we hand over to you, Mataji?
I'm okay either ways, Mataji. Whatever works for everyone, I'm okay.
We'll hand over to you then, Mataji.
Okay.
Hare Krishna.
So let's get started. One minute, Mataji. Om Ajnana-timirandhasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurummilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna-prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Niti Namane. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschaita Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Narayanam Namaskrityam, Naram Chaiva Narottamam, Devim Saraswatam Vyasam, Tato Jayam Udirayet, Srinuvata Swagata Krishna, Punya Shravana Kirtanaha, Hridayantastohi Abhadrani, Vidunati Sukrit Satam, Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu, Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya, Bhagavati Uttam Sloke, Bhakti Bhavati Naishtiki, Hare Krishna. Thank you all for your presence. I really appreciate. I think we don't have to say Kritika Mataji is always on video. Now we have another new devotee Mataji, Vajayanti Mataji. She's also very encouraging. Always has a video on in all of her classes. So I really appreciate that part. I have to learn from her. How the speakers, they get motivated when we see the audience, right? So this is really appreciative. And Kritika Mataji, of course, she's been doing this ever since we started the class. So it's been many years she's been following that protocol. So very nice. It's not to appreciate. I don't mean those who have not turned off their videos or not listening or anything like that. It's just for the speaker to see the audience. It's always encouraging. That's all. Thank you, Mataji. Really appreciate it. And so today's verse, you've all probably been relishing the story, and it's the topic itself is very sad. Disappearance of Lord Krishna. So as we all know, we saw in the first 10 verses, Maharaj Yudhishthira is suspecting the disappearance of Lord Krishna. Arjuna did not return from Dwaraka even after a few months. There were inauspicious omens observed. Yudhishthira expresses his suspicions to Bhima in body. Then further what happened was further bad omens were experienced by Yudhishthira in body, animals, birds, cattle, deities, and other places. And then Arjuna appeared. As Yudhishthira suspected some great loss, Arjuna returns. He appears dejected. Now, if you look at Yudhishthira, he is now going to question, or Yudhishthira is inquiring about the welfare of the Yadus. So this is sort of the theme as you go on to this various verses till 33, 25 to 33. It's talking about Yudhishthira's inquiries about the welfare of the Yadus. About Surasena, about Vasudeva and his wife, about Ugrasena, his associates, son of Krishna, Shrutadeva, Uddhava, and all of them. So this is what is the theme. And you can see that, so the verses that we have for today are 28 and 29. Just if you go look back to verse number 25, 24th verse talks about the fact that seeing Arjuna pale and anxious, Yudhishthira is remembering the indications of Narada Muni and questioned him in the process. So Maharaj Yudhishthira, he's inquiring about the welfare of the Yadus. First, he's are relatives of the Yadu family in happiness? Are you all happy? This was the question that he posed in verse number 25. And then in 26, he's asking, are my grandfather Surasena, Uncle Vasudeva and his brothers all doing well? Right? All of them are doing okay. Are our aunts, Vasudeva's wife and their sons and daughter-in-law all happy? And then in 28 and 29, he's saying, are Ugrasena, Kritvika, Kritavarma, Krura, Jayanta, Sada, Sharana, and Satrujit all happy? How is Balaram, the protector of the devotees? Can you please tell me about the statuses of them? So, again, looking into this verse, you're able to understand the theme, right? The theme is he's inquiring about the welfare of the Yadus. He wants to hear from Arjuna. Oh, Arjuna, please tell me good news. Tell me everybody is happy there. Don't give me this news that everybody is sad and dejected and they're not doing good. Don't give me that information. So he wants to hear from him. Okay, tell me what is the status. He's not inquiring directly about Krishna yet. He's inquiring about his friends and family, and then he wants to then he will understand, right? Of course, if family are doing okay, then Krishna will be okay, because he is always surrounded by his friends, families, relatives, and devotees. He's such a person. And so we are able to understand Yudhishthira's mood here. Now, for today's class, I was thinking about how about we talk about Balaram, who's the direct incarnation of Sri Krishna, right? I was just thinking about these personalities. Of course, each one of them, Akrura, there is so much to talk about like that. But I was thinking for today's theme, we will talk about Balramji. If everybody is fine with that, then we will go ahead and get started and know a little bit about Balramji and his qualities. So this is the theme for today's session, dear devotees. So with this, we will get started. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. All right. Balramji is very, very glorious. So if you have to understand him, there are so many things that we can learn from Balramji. So Srila Prabhupada explains that Krishna and Balaram are one absolute truth. So Balaram, like Krishna, he possesses all opulences in full. And we also need to know that Krishna expands his Balaram. And his role, that is Balaram's role, is the role of a servant of the Lord. Not only the role of serving personally, but he is also inspiring and organizing all others to participate in Lord's pastimes of devotional service. So, and therefore, Balramji has this very, very special thing. He's a Guru Tattva. And Balaram Tattva is the source of Guru Tattva. That means he is the original spiritual master. So, right? I mean, what is the true duty of a spiritual master? A true duty of a spiritual master is to engage people in the service of Lord Krishna. Right? Krishna, he tells in Bhagavad Gita that it's only by his undivided devotional service that he could be understood. So Krishna, if you look at him, he doesn't require our powers. He doesn't require our influence, our wealth, our intelligence, our abilities, because he is providing all these resources to each and every living entity. And if you look at Krishna, he's Rasa Vihari. In the spiritual world, he has only one purpose. What is that purpose? Anybody wants to answer what that purpose of Krishna is in the spiritual world?
Enjoyment, Mataji.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, enjoy pastimes of love with his devotees. Therefore, he expands his Lord Balaram to engage all other living entities in the service of divine love. Right? So the real Guru does not teach you how to become God. Right? The real Guru is the one who teaches you how to serve God. Because through service, only what happens? The love of God is awakened in your heart. Guru is the one who teaches us by example. So how? We have to be enthusiastic to serve 24 hours a day with whatever we have at all times. Balaram has this ecstatic service mood. And his enthusiasm to serve Krishna, it's very, very inspiring for all of us. He provides facilities for others to serve Krishna as well. And he expands himself in the Dham of Goloka. Right? In Vaikuntha, he is Anantasesh. He expands himself as Vaikunthas. So he is expanding himself as Dham in Goloka, and then expanding himself as Vaikuntha, and then he is Anantasesh also, and then he provides clothes to the Lord. He becomes the clothes, the jewelry, he becomes that, and then bed, yes, he becomes a seat, he becomes a shoes. Like that, each and everything, when you look at Sri Balramji, he is always in that mood of service. How can I serve the Lord? How will he be pleased? How can I be of service? This is the mood of Balramji. And if you look at Ramayana, right, he is Lakshman, the brother of Sri Ram, younger brother. Although he is the supreme Lord, we can see that he came as Lakshman. And when Ram was banished to the forest, of course, Lakshman didn't say, I'm sorry, brother. I'm sorry, Ram. It happened to you. Oh, I'm really feeling bad for you. I'll see you in 14 years' time. Just 14 years will pass just like that. He didn't say that, right? Lakshman insisted, Ram, I'm going to always stay by your side, no matter what. From infancy, I've been serving you. And, I want to serve you at all times. It doesn't matter if it's good time or bad time. So real devotional service means serving at all points in time. And that is why in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, it is said, a devotee is not supposed to be overly happy or overly sad. Why? He should not have extreme emotions. Why? A devotee is not supposed to have extreme emotions. Why? Because that will lead to forgetting of Krishna. The remembrance of Krishna will be lost when our emotions are extreme. If I'm going to remember, if I'm in an extreme mood of happiness, then where is the question of remembrance about Krishna? I'm happy. I'm extremely happy that even I forgot Krishna. And then I'm extremely sad. I'm just lamenting like crazy. Because I'm in ignorance, I'm lamenting. And I forget Krishna. Right? So this is why Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu says, devotee is never supposed to be overly happy or overly sad, because that will lead to forgetfulness of Krishna. At all points, we are supposed to remember Krishna, at least consciously. Of course, as I told you, coming back to the topic of faith, faith is endeavoring to remember, endeavoring to be conscious of Krishna at all points in time. At least we endeavor. At this point, we can only endeavor. We are not Raganuga Bhaktas yet, right? Where we spontaneously remember Krishna and think about Krishna, enjoy his pastimes. No, it comes only to a Raganuga Bhakta where he doesn't have to put an effort to remember Krishna. It comes to him spontaneously. But for us, we have to be conscious. Yes, I have to attend Srimad Bhagavatam class. I have to keep myself engaged. I have to attend Bhagavad Gita class. I have to do some service for my spiritual master. I have to somehow engage my senses in the service of Krishna and thereby engage my mind. So all this has to happen for us consciously. If we endeavor, it will happen. And that is what leads to faith. Eventually, because we have faith, we are endeavoring. And this endeavor should happen every minute. We should try. And then we have, if we that is what we should do. Again, dear devotees, these are all instructions for myself. Please don't mistake me if I'm trying to instruct or that's not what my intention is. My intention is to just pass on these instructions to my heart so that I am able to follow as well in my life. But anyways, coming back to a point. So this is the quality of Lakshman. Lakshmanji was always wanting to serve Ram at all points in time. And now, if you look at Ramayana, Ram was banished to the forest. And Lakshmanji was like, I must stand by him in good or bad, in whether in life or in death, in happiness or distress. I must be by your side, Lord Ram. This is what is my wish. And again, when it comes to brothers, see, if a husband leaves a wife or a wife leaves a husband, in those ages, it is not something normal. So the wife would go with the husband at all points in time. But Lakshman, he is a devotee. I mean, he is a brother. And because he was Ram's brother, it was because the love for him, he was going along with Ram, during any kind of difficulty. And Lakshman, he endured more difficulties than anyone. He was simply making Ram and Sita comfortable at all points in time. When they arrived in Chitrakoot, what did he do? He was clearing the path in front of them. He was cutting the weeds. He was cutting the plants. And then he would make pathway for Ram and Sita to walk. He was moving aside the pebbles and thorns so that it doesn't hurt Mother Sita Devi and Ram. He didn't mind stepping on them himself, but he didn't want a single pebble to hurt the feet of Lord Ram or Mother Sita. This is something he managed to do for 24 hours a day. He walked the path serving them. So when they arrived in the Chitrakoot mountain, it was Lakshman. Ram and Sita, they were enjoying the scenery. Oh, wow, it's such a beautiful place. Like that, they were enjoying the scenery, and Lakshman was chopping down all the trees, getting the branches, so that with these branches, he could make a tree house, a house for them, a nice hut. He was bringing water for them. He was collecting fruits from nearby places. He had some sort of herbs. He would bring them herbs. Then he would make a bed for them to sleep. And then when they would sleep, he did not sleep. He stood outside the door and he guarded all night. 24 hours a day, he wanted to serve. And in entire Ramayana, we never hear Lakshman asking for anything except service, my dear devotees. Anything except service, nothing. The entire Ramayana, even in the most difficult situations, he would never ask for anything but service. This is the mood of Lakshmanji. He is teaching us what is service, the selfless service. Selfless service is something that we all have to aspire for as devotees. Selfless service. Service where we don't expect name, we don't expect prestige, we don't expect honor, we don't expect anything from anybody. This service is just to please Krishna and Guru Gauranga. If this mood of pleasing your Guru and pleasing Gauranga Mahaprabhu and Lord Krishna, so if this mood is there, then that is the mood that is expected. Any kind of service we do, we surrender to them first, because we understand only through their empowerment we are able to do the service. Without them, we will not be able to speak a word. If I were to take up a service, I am not speaking. It is my Guru who is empowering me to speak. It is not me, because this is transcendental sound. This sound is something that I cannot understand with my material mind. This is, Srimad Bhagavatam. And this Bhagavatam's mercy has to descend to understand the subject matter. So it's not me who's speaking. It's because understand the mood of Sutta Goswami, right? I told you already. How Sutta Goswami's mood was. How Srila Chakravarti Thakur explained the mood of we become selfless only when we understand that we are not the doers. We are not the doers. This has to be understood. At some point, this realization has to dawn upon us in our hearts. Then only we will understand the potency of spirituality. That is when we would understand what is mercy. And then we become dependent completely. That dependence will increase little by little. And a day will come where you're completely dependent on Guru Gauranga. That is the day we have to hanker for, dear devotees. Because through our sadhana is nothing in front of Krishna. Our sadhana is nothing, because what we are chanting probably is, aparathanam, I don't know. So this is the status of us. So mercy has to come down. That's my point. And then when it comes to Lakshmanji, again, we have to see that Lakshmanji went through, when you look at Ram told Lakshman to banish Sita, and this was the most difficult test, right? Near Rameshwaram, Ram told Lakshman, make a funeral pyre, and Sita should enter the fire. Let us just test her chastity. And he had to do it. Banish her to Valmiki Muni's ashram. Lakshman was an obedient servant. But these services, what he had to do, as far as showing glory of Sita's love, it was so painful to him. As an younger brother, he had to obey. It was put through so much difficulty. To do all those tasks was not an easy thing, my dear devotees. Very, very painful those things were. And in the next incarnation, he said, oh, I cannot be your younger brother for sure. So I will become your older brother. And that's how he became Balaram and then Nityananda Prabhu. But actually, we find in Balaramji and Nityananda Prabhu the same spirit of constant service attitude, right? 24 hours a day, constant service attitude. As I told you, a guru is the one who has to teach us by example as to how you have to completely absorb in devotional service. And Sri Balramji, he engages himself in 5 principal rasas with Krishna. Sometimes he's Krishna's servant, sometimes he's collecting wood for Krishna, sometimes he's decorating Krishna, he's bathing Krishna, sometimes he's Krishna's friends, where he's equal with him, playing flutes and dancing with Krishna, herding with the boys. As an older brother, sometimes he is showing his Vatsalya Rasa like a parent. And to serve Krishna and Radharani in their Madhurya Leelas, Balaram is expanding himself as Anangamanjari, who is Srimati Radharani's own sister. She has a beautiful abode in the heart of Radhakund, where she makes so many intimate arrangements for Radha and Krishna's loving affairs. This is Balramji. He is Guru Tattva, always trying to serve, always trying to engage everyone in service. This is our Balramji. Soon after Krishna appeared, they were his constant associates of the Lord. They were all there. They would call and they would, as soon as they were able to walk, what happened was immediately they began the pastime of stealing the butter, right? Balramji was always there, making all facilities and arrangements for Krishna's happiness. As they grow older, they all took the form of cowherd boys and they perform unlimited pastimes. So now we'll at least try to go over one of the pastimes of Balramji. So since we are talking about Balramji, we should definitely see at least one pastime today, and then maybe we can have some question and answers reflections. So now Balramji pastimes, we have many, but so what happens is when we hear these pastimes, ultimately the point that I want to drive is it purifies our heart. It pleases Krishna, because it awakens our love and attraction for Krishna. And this hearing is very, very potent, dear devotees. By hearing, our hearts can transform and we can get ourselves purified. So how much attention we pay to this hearing is very, very, very important for a sadhaka, because that sound can have an impact to our mind. So this is very important when it comes to hearing. How much attention are we giving? Importance is something that we always have to judge ourselves, because okay, we assimilate the information. It's not about, oh yeah, it's a very good class, but after that some sort of mananam must happen, it seems, dear devotees. This mananam means something we contemplate. Oh, this is what we learned today, and you start contemplating, Krishna did this, how Lakshman, 24 hours of service, how much he would have loved Krishna to have that mood of devotional service. Something that just churns in our heart, where we start thinking about what we discussed during class. This mananam will then, this mananam is what brings us realizations in the heart. It transforms the heart after some time. So if we are able to do this mananam, and if we are able to share these stories or pastimes that we discussed during the class with others, family members, whatever, just a little bit here and there, that also reinforces what you have learned. Okay, so these are a couple of ways that you can implement to start having this mananam in your heart. Okay, we will try our best. I mean, I'm also a work in progress, but it's nevertheless, we do have time, so we can definitely do it, right? Anyways, coming back to the point. So one day in Vrindavan, summer season, it was just beginning. Okay, now if you all know, the summer season in Vrindavan is very, very hot, right? There's no ocean breeze or anything of that sort. So when Krishna and Balaram were in Vrindavan, it was very, very hot, and they were there was, as I told you, when it comes to ocean breeze, it's not there usually. But when Krishna and Balaram was there in Vrindavan, there was a fresh, the season was it was sort of a transcendental spring. Even the summer season, it was like a transcendental spring, because by Balram's potency, what happens was the whole dam is engaged in Krishna service. When you look at Yamuna, the beautiful waves of Yamuna, they were wet, and they, it made the ground wet, and the soil was so fresh. Because obviously Yamuna made it so the ground wet, and it also looked very fresh. And then she would also arrange for some nice breeze and moisture particles will be embedded in the breeze, which will make it cool and fresh, right? So like when some breeze comes over you, you feel so nice, wow, so pleasant, like that. And the clouds also, they were engaged in the service of Krishna. Wherever you would go, they would make a nice shade from the sun. Then what happens? The trees, what about the trees? They would bend in the direction. Whenever Krishna and Balaram would come and the cowboys would come, they would bend in that direction. So then they would give them shade, so that they can nicely rest and hang out in the trees. right? And then they would give flowers for the season, whatever, it will all be so nicely blossoming, and waterfalls, they will all make sweet sounds. Like that, each and everything, it was all made a very pleasurable abode for Krishna and Balram. This was so nice, right? You can imagine, in the summer season it's so hot, but here the dam itself was made to look like a transcendental spring season because of Balram's potency, because of him engaging that dam in the service of Krishna. This is the point, dear devotees. And if you look at every devotee's desire, it is to please Krishna. And Krishna's only desire, what is his desire? It is to please his devotees. Knowing that Krishna's only desire is to please the devotees only desire to please each other. That is bhakti. Right? Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, what did he say? He taught us to be a devotee of Krishna is not real devotion, it seems. Because Krishna is pleased when we serve his devotees. So the real devotee is one who serves Krishna's devotees. That is when Krishna becomes extremely pleased. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he's mentioned this in Chaitanya Charitamrita to say that the real, those who are really my devotees, they know what pleases me the best. What pleases me the best? Serving the devotees, pleasing my devotees is what pleases me the best. That is what my devotees know. And in the 9th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, Lord Narayana speaks this to Durvasa Muni. He speaks this truth to Durvasa Muni to say, the sadhus, my devotees, the sadhus are my devotees. They are my heart and soul. They have given their heart to me. Therefore, I have given my heart to them. They only but me. Therefore, I know no one but them. See how nice, isn't it? We cannot take this word literally. He really means it. And this is loving devotional service, right? And that is why the devotees are loving Krishna completely. Anya abhilashita shunya jnana karmati anavritam anukulyena krishnanu shilanam bhakti ruttama. Then that principle of bhakti ruttama is satisfied. At that time, you become a devotee of Krishna, engaging in the service of Krishna constantly. Satatam. Satatam means 24/7. You will be engaged in the service of Krishna, trying to please him. So, right now, at least we have to endeavor constantly trying to please him. If we are having another attitude of a selfish agenda within ourselves, try to change it. Now that we understand, oh, Krishna, sorry, I made a mistake. I have not been a good devotee so far. Let me change my attitude. Don't become duplicitous, dear devotees. Okay, you've been like that. Now you heard in the class, okay, I should not be like that. Change it. I know that change is not like this. It's not possible. But if it's not possible, at least beg to Guru Gauranga, please make it happen. Then Krishna will understand your mood, right? It is intentions that matters. You may be an envious person, but you want to change. This is what Krishna is looking for. Okay, you're envious. You accept you're envious and you want to change. You are asking Guru Gauranga for it. Very good. No problem. I will accept you. But we cannot be duplicitous. Meaning, you are trying to say one thing and then in your heart, you're somebody else. You're not that person. And you don't even want to change into your heart. Then what kind of person are you? Aren't you duplicitous? You are. This is something Guru Gauranga doesn't like. It should not be like a duplicitous person. So Kapiladev, he also explains that if you perform, that you can perform yajnas, offer ghee to the fire, but as Lord, I am satisfied when you offer nice preparations of ghee to the mouth of my devotees. I will taste it through their satisfaction. So now, when coming back to the story, Krishna and Balaram and all their friends, what they will do is they will apply colors on each of their bodies. They'll be decorating each other so nicely. They would put leaves on each other. They will have peacock feathers, fruits, and then they will sing and play. So Krishna will sing. So one time Krishna will sing very nicely and the cowherd boys gathering around Krishna, they will be clapping their hands and playing instruments when they sing. And then he would dance. Oh, Krishna dancing. Oh, wow. Then simply to please his friends and devotees, Krishna will dance. At other times, Krishna and Balaram will play their instruments and the friends would sing and dance. So this is what they'll be doing. These things, these things are again, you know, very transcendental, right? I mean, it's not like mundane playing, but this is real entertainment, meaning reciprocation of love that's happening between them. This is what the soul needs at the end of the day. Everything else, if you look at in the modern society, it's all life full of anxieties. They don't have an element of love in them. We all need, oh, see, these people are making it a necessity. Some gadget will be there, we don't even need it, but it will become a necessity once we buy it. So because of that, what we are deprived of is love. Because we have these gadgets around us, we don't look for that real love. And because of that missing element of love in our hearts, we become a weak-hearted devotee. Hridaya daurbalyam. Because we don't have love. Love is what keeps the soul alive. And love to Krishna is the purest love that anybody can get. Anyways, coming back to the story, Krishna and Balram and the cowherd boys, they were in ecstasy and they were laughing, always laughing, enjoying, playing. They would take the fruits like amalaki fruit and throw it in the air. Then they would take the other fruit and throw it at a particular fruit and try to hit that fruit. Right? That fruit should go and hit the fruit in it. This is how they will enjoy. If someone hit the fruit, then, very nice, very nice. They will clap their hands and they will laugh. In bliss, each one will be enjoying one another. Sometimes they'll be holding each other's eyes and ask, oh, guess who I am? Guess who's this person? Like that. Then you have to guess. If you win, if you guess correctly, then they will clap. Yes, you won. Like that. All these are childlike games, and Krishna and Balram were experts in every possible game to play. They have the source of all these games, right? We have a propensity to play that, that is because it originated from Krishna and Balram. We are all part and parcels of him. So all these originated from them. And sometimes they would imitate the animals. They will jump like frogs. They will spread their arms like this, in the shadow of the birds. In this way, Krishna, Balaram, and the Gopas, they would travel with the little cows throughout the day, through the hills, valleys, along the way, lakes, and the sceneries in Vrindavan, around the rivers of Vrindavan. They would just spend their day like this. And now, one day, a vicious, envious Asura wanted to kidnap Krishna and Balaram and cause harm to them. He made a scheme. He wanted to kidnap Krishna and Balram and he wanted to harm them. So he made a scheme. So now this enemy is a very powerful guy and he wanted to go undetected, right? In an army, say for example, you have an enemy who you trust. Okay, if that enemy is in your and you're trusting him, he is on your side, he's more information to your enemies, the other side. Very dangerous person he is, isn't it? And he's doing something from inside. So, well, when you look at Pralambasura, was one of the original terrorists, we can say. He disguised himself. He didn't have to go through metal detectors or anything where he'll be found and caught red-handed. He had his own powers. Pralambasura, he did his research. Right? What is the research? You kind of understand who are these boys and try to, get into the groove. Okay. So what happened was this guy, this Pralambasura, this Asura, he found out one of the particular cowherd boy had to stay at home that day and perform his duties. So Pralambasura, he perfectly disguised himself to look like that Gopa that day. Because that Gopa was not going to come, he looked like that Gopa. And he came to the pasture grounds and acted like that Gopa, looked like that and acted like that and spoke like that Gopa as well. He was a very trained mystic, it seems. And Krishna Balaram, they welcomed him. Oh, how are you nice? How are you, Gopa? I mean, whatever the person's name is. How nice, friend, you've come here. Very nice. And Krishna understood. This guy, he's come to kill us. So Krishna played along. Krishna played along. You know how he is. Don't think we can fool Krishna. You may think, oh yeah, we can get away with nonsense things, but you cannot get away from Krishna. You may look like a devotee, in the garb of a devotee, you can dress nicely, put mala, kanti mala, tilak, everything good, look good externally, but internally you're a sick devotee. Krishna will know your mood, Krishna will know your intention. So according to the desire, Krishna may allow you to execute your folly, but in due course of time, a reaction will definitely come. So Krishna Balaram, they had their scheme, okay? They said, oh yeah, let's play a game. Krishna shouted to all the boys, all the cowherd birds, yeah, let's, come on, guys. Let's play a game now. We'll divide into two sides. The loser will be the winner on the shoulders. This is the point. So there was an election. Who would be the captain of the two teams? And of course, the Gopas, they selected their most beloved heroes, that is Krishna and Balaram. So now Pralambasura was little afraid of Krishna. So he took Krishna's side. And since he was afraid of Krishna, he said, yeah, let me stay in this side. That is Krishna's side himself. And then Pralambasura and then Balaram side, they happened to win. And Sridama was carried on. Sridama was carried on Krishna's shoulders, and Pralambasura carried Balaram. But okay, you're able to understand, right? What is the whoever is the loser, they have to carry the winner on the shoulders. So Balaram side won. That means so the Krishna's side, they have to carry Balaram's team members. So Sridama was carried by Krishna, and then Pralambasura carried Balaram, and he was a very sweet, beautiful boy. They were they went to Bandiravati, it seems, a beautiful banyan tree where there was near the bank of Ganga. They went to that place. There they were getting on each other's shoulders, and then they were supposed to take them to a certain spot. So Pralambasura took Krishna's side, and Balaram took, Balaram took. We understand Pralambasura took Krishna's side, so he's agreed to carry Balaram over his shoulder. So he's carrying Balaram in his shoulder, and he kept on going. And Balaram began to think, oh, where is my? He was going deeper and deeper into the forest. And Balaram understood, this is the demon in disguise of my friend who wants to kill me. So although Balaram was a little cowherd boy, he stayed the same size. Then what happened? Suddenly he assumed the weight of Mount Sumeru. Now, Pralamba is a little Gopa. He was not just an ordinary person. How many of us do you think could carry Mount Sumeru? It's not possible. So he assumed his original form, that is gigantic mountainous form with his fiery copper eyes and fiery copper red hair and large pointed teeth. He had a massive body, right? And there were so many golden decorations with jewels on his body. And then he started flying in the sky with Balaram. With his jewels, he looked like a dark cloud with lightning carrying the full moon. And Balaramji, he understood time has come. And then he closed his fist with a bow. He crushed the head of Pralambasura. So, of course, demon killing was happening all the time. It was like a daily routine, right? Every day, new demon would come, and they will somehow, kill in a fashionable way. Something or the other would always happen in Vrindavan. And then, looking at this episode, demigod flowered showers, and the boys embraced Balaram as if he had just come back from death. So that was the situation. And Bhakti Vinod Thakura, he explains that Pralambasura represents a particular form of demon that is within the heart of every conditioned soul. It is an anartha. It is an unwanted quality that devotees must somehow or the other overcome. Each of the anarthas that we have is very powerful, and we have no power to fight against them. This is the point, dear devotees. We have no power on our own. Only Guru Gauranga and the Vaishnavas have to shower mercy upon us. That is the only way that we can overcome. Now, if you look at Pralamba, Mataji, what sort of thing he represents? Pralamba represents lusty inclinations, a desire for, lusty inclinations. So, desire for personal gain, honor. Then he also represents the gross and subtle sex life, which is lust, right? So they are demons within our heart, and who, like Pralambasura, they are trying to kill our inclination to love and serve Krishna. If you look at these inclinations, the anarthas that we have in our heart, what is it doing basically to us? The greed, anger, lust, whatever envy, whatever we have in our heart are unwanted. Why? Because they are distracting us from Krishna. We are not able to relish Krishna fully. Because what happens if you are an envious person? You try to think about the other person whom you are envious of and try to waste your time, try to contemplate about him, and that time is not utilized in Krishna's service, isn't it? What they're troubling us. See, imagine we are just a simple-hearted person, like innocent, like a child, without any, we are carefree. And all we do is to think and love Krishna. Imagine that state of consciousness. Instead of a child loving his mother or daddy, he loves the Supreme Lord, Lord Krishna. Imagine that case. How nice it would be, isn't it? Your heart is free of lust, anger, greed, now no anarthas, and then you're completely devoted to Lord Krishna and showing loving reciprocations to him, always trying to please him. There's no other disturbance in your life. How much fortunate we would be if we were to put into that situation. That's what I imagine myself. If we are like a child, that is the situation we have to be. So Pralamba, he represents lusty inclinations and all this. And so whoever they are trying to take Krishna and Balaram, Pralamba is trying to kill our inclination to love and serve Krishna. Right? This is very important. How we have this phone which is trying to take us away from Krishna. It's a deity of Kali, they say, right? So we definitely need to understand what are our distractions, who is the enemy we need to fight with, because a lot of time is spent in fighting with our enemy. The enemy wants you to fail. He doesn't want you to succeed. The enemy wants you to suffer. Right? These enemies are worst enemies. They are disguised in the friendship. Oh, they seem nice. The mobile phone looks good in hand. But literally it is, if it is utilized in a wrong, if it is utilized for wrong activities, then obviously it's a distraction. It can capture your attention and your consciousness can be fixed in anything but Krishna using this device. So they are disguised, like friends they are, but they are not real friends if it is not used in the service of Krishna. Krishna, he says, the senses are so strong. It can take your mind away. They can forcibly carry even the mind of an intelligent person who's trying to control them. It's very, very difficult. But we must fix our mind on Krishna. How can we fix our mind on Krishna, Mataji? Because you're saying the senses are so strong, they can carry your mind away. Even an intelligent person cannot control. What's the point then? But we must fix our mind on Krishna. How are we supposed to fix our mind on Krishna? Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakura says, certain demons, just by taking shelter of a holy name of Krishna, we can eliminate them. But those particular asuras of Vrindavan that Balramji delivered specifically represents anarthas in our heart. That we must have the grace and the blessings and the strength of the spiritual master to overcome that anarthas. Without that, where will the strength to overcome the anarthas come? It can come only from spiritual master's mercy. Right? In order to overcome the lusty inclinations and the desire for name, fame, prestige, we have to seek Balramji's help, which is coming through the parampara. By taking the words of our Guru as life and soul. What does this mean? Taking the words of Guru as life and soul. That means no questions asked. Shut. Keep our mouth shut. No questions asked. I simply follow my words of my spiritual master. The point, the day when we start doing it like a child, so just blindly. I don't understand why we have to do, for what we have to do. No questions asked. I don't ask any question. I just simply follow instructions of my spiritual master. That day has to come, dear devotees, where we simply, blindly, my spiritual master's words are everything. That sort of determination should come. Then I take his words as my heart and soul. I'm born for that purpose. I don't have anything else other than serving my spiritual master. I don't want to do anything else other than to please my spiritual master. I just want to take my words of my spiritual master as heart and soul. I want to work for him. I'm like a dead body, meaning I've given my body to the service of my spiritual master. So what this body is dead, because this body, it can ask anything. I want to eat ice cream. I want to eat gulab jamun, rasgulla, no problem. but I cannot fulfill the demands of my body. My body is dead. This body is given to spiritual master, and I'm just an instrument in the hands of my spiritual master. That day is what we are looking for, dear devotees. Pure devotion is not an easy task. Pure devotion is very, very rare. Very, very rare. That is why the pure devotee is rare. It's not easy. It's not easy. What we are doing, maybe bhakti sometimes and karma, mixed with everything, we are doing something. The day has to come where we lose faith on karma, jnana and everything and devote ourselves to completely bhakti. And only very few bhakti adhikaris are there, pure devotees. That is why we need to at least understand the mood of the pure devotees so we can get there. And for that, we have to work on our sadhana and look out for our mercy of the spiritual master by serving our spiritual master. His words are my words. I have to take it to my heart. Then only purification can happen. Is our parampara looks for mercy. That is why spiritual master is nothing but he is the supreme Lord himself. Yasya prasada bhagavad prasado. Anyways, so this is about, because Balramji represents Guru Tattva, right? It's very important for us to understand his mood. And the last will then be transformed by the mercy of Guru in the Vaishnavas. By the mercy of Balramji, the last will be transformed. It will be transformed into this transformation can happen only with mercy. We cannot make it artificially happen. Oh yeah, I can what is it called? Dovetail. I can dovetail lust and make it love. No, that mood cannot. It's just not like a toggle switch where you say 1 0. No, it can't happen like that. You need the mercy, and that mercy should come down from, because of serving your spiritual master. The spiritual master has to bestow mercy upon you. That is when the mercy will come. So this is the story of Pralambasur. So like that, we also have Divida, right?
Yes, she's back. Yes. Yes, Mataji.
Sorry, I had a small blackout. Kindly continue, Hari Govind Prabhu. You were asking a question.
Yeah, I was just asking the devotees if they had any comments or questions. Okay, I'll start with the question. Mataji, thank you so much for glorifying Lord Balram and importance of Balram in our life as a spiritual master. I had this doubt in my mind that when Lord Balram was doing his pastimes on the earth, and then he was on the side of Duryodhan for a certain reason. He wanted Duryodhan to marry Subhadra. So, and then like that, he was on the side of Duryodhan. So this is little bewildering for us to understand. So any thoughts on this, Mataji? Hare Krishna.
Again, Prabhuji, I don't know what our Acharya's comment about this is, but ultimately these things are meant to glorify Krishna only, Prabhuji. At the end of the day, he wants to glorify Krishna. See, Krishna wants to do what is right as far as the devotees go. Even though somebody else, even class person as close as Balramji would instigate, oh yeah, Duryodhan is nice, but Krishna is not going to favor their sides because they are not devotees. So Krishna is going to stand by the side of the devotees at all points in time because of the loving reciprocation he has. That mood of Krishna is not going to be changed anytime. So this is just to depict. See, Bhishma, he was on the opposite side. Even though he was a devotee, he was on the opposite side. And now Krishna, because he's a devotee, he's having loving reciprocation with him in spite of him being on the other side. So meaning During the deathbed time, he came to visit Bhishma, and Bhishma knows, oh yeah, he's come to see me and I'm paying obeisances. So that mood of reciprocation is there no matter what. If he is there on the other side, but he wants to tell one principle, yeah, adharma is wrong. I mean, you guys, only a Krishna conscious person should be a ruler, and that dharma has to be established. And for that, Pandavas has to reign. But when it comes to devotees, if they're on the other side, he's more than welcoming to go and have that reciprocal mood with them. He's with the side of the devotees at all points in time, no matter. So if devotees are trying to do something, see, Bhishma, for example, was trying to, what did he do? He was trying to put arrows upon Arjuna. And what was, see, Bhishma obviously didn't have that intention. Oh, I have to kill Arjuna, take vengeance towards him. No, that was not his intention. He was putting arrows towards, Arjuna. So he wants to see what is Krishna doing this time. Is he simply standing and watching, or he's going to come and save Arjuna? He made a vow, I will not lift a weapon. But I told Krishna, I will lift a vow. I will make Krishna lift a vow. So in order to fulfill the promise of Bhima, he lifted and protected Arjuna at that point. He lifted a weapon, even though he vowed not to. So for the sake of devotees, he is ready to do anything. So when Balramji, he's on the side of Duryodhana or whatever it is not that Krishna changes his mind. He's always on the side of Duryodhana. This is just to glorify Krishna. That's how I look at it, Prabhuji. But I specifically don't know what Acharya's commentary is on this, because everything has to, at the end of the day, come from our acharyas. Whatever we speak and think, that mood has to be from the acharyas. I can definitely refer. I have not come to 10th canto. 10th canto is so exhaustive for me, in the sense I'm not there. I want to understand these 9 cantos really nicely to my heart's satisfaction, then go to 10th canto and read everything. I just know it in the outer surface, very, very it's not anything. I haven't licked or anything to understand the essence or rasa. I'm not there yet, but slowly we'll get there someday, hopefully in this life. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Can I ask a question?
Yes, Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. And sorry about the failure. Mataji, you said that Balramji served Krishna as a servant, as a friend, Vatsalya Bhav as a elder brother, Shantaras as his shoes, his jewelry, his clothes, and as Anant Manjari as well. So, Mataji, can a person serve the Lord in different rasas, or because we have been told that one day it will be revealed to us what your relationship is with Krishna. So would it?
So Mataji, yeah. So that I understood your question, Mataji. Good question. So if you look at our constitutional position, what is our constitutional position? Constitutional position is not like you are Manjari, you are Vatsalya, you are having correct. The constitutional position is that we are servant. That is the constitution. The constitution for each and every living entity is to serve the Lord. A day will come that time we will understand what our rasa is. If you ask a question, oh, can I be in Vaikuntha and Goloka and perform service to Lord Narayan? And it looks like the answer according to what I heard is yes. If you look at Garuda Pandit, I think he is in Vaikuntha. He's also in serving Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So like that variety is definitely there, it seems. But how it works, that I don't know, Mataji. But it definitely is possible to have multiple rasas. But as devotees, what we have to aspire for and we have to go for is what constitution position is. Right now, we understand that I am servant of the Lord. That is the constitution. And eventually, we understand we are all Rupanugas. So we are going to if at all, when we enter the stage of Raganuga platform, then it will be that Manjari Bhav that we would be aspiring for. Because we are in this path, we would be eventually aspiring for that path, but that is very far ahead for me. But anyways, that at least this mood of I being the servant should be there at all points in time. Like how we feel, I'm a professor, I'm a doctor, I'm a lawyer. We feel that, right? We have that designation there in us all the time. Like that designation has to be replaced by the designation of I'm a servant of Krishna. I'm proud Krishna is performing these pastimes. I'm proud to be in the association of devotees. This is what we have to be proud of. It's not about our children. It's not about our family. It's not about having a big house. But I'm just proud being a servant of Krishna. I'm just here to please Krishna. This ego has to develop, the real ego. Hope that helps, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, yes, that helps. Prabhuji, continue, or are there any other questions or comments? Prabhuji, continue.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji, for the one questions and answers. Are there any other questions or comments? We have exhausted the time.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, everyone. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Kindly accept my humble wishes. Oh, good, Shri Prabhupada. Sorry, I don't know what's happening to my voice this morning. Yes, we know as Lakshman, when Lord Ram was banished to the forest, Lakshman was very, very angry. And he has been serving the Lord, meticulously, doing every single thing for Sitama and also when he was asked to take Sitama to Valmiki Ashram, he was not happy. Then he argued with Lord Ram. He said, if we come next time, I want to be your elder brother because I don't want to see you suffer. You have been suffering so much. I don't want to see you suffering again. That's why he came as Balaram. So as Balaram, he also used to when Krishna used to walk around, he would just diminish the length of the land wherever Krishna was. Krishna was very far, so he would just to make Krishna not walk a lot back, he would just diminish the length of the land, like it was himself, right? He could do all this, and so we see also in the incarnation as Nityananda Prabhu. He came as Nityananda Prabhu, and in this Leela, he was 40 years older than Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyas. And he shaved his head, his nice gold lock. And Nityananda Prabhu was very, very angry. And Mataji is smiling. She knows what happened. So when he took sannyas, Nityananda Prabhu got very angry and he broke his danda into 3 pieces and threw it in the river. And that place is called Dandabhanga, where he made bhang. He took it. He says, no, you cannot do that. Why did you do that? But Chaitanya Prabhu, he already decided. But Nityananda Prabhu, he did not only protect, he also chastised when needed to be. He also controlled when Chaitanya Prabhu was invoking the Sudarshan Chakra to kill Jagai and Madai. He stopped him. He said, no, don't do that. He could stop Chaitanya Prabhu. So in this way, there's lots of beautiful pastime. It's a very nice topic, Mataji. Thank you. And you gave such a nice, broad understanding of the Guru Tattva, of how Balaramji is, how powerful he is. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Wonderful. We always look forward to your realizations, Mataji.
I learned from you. I'm learning from everyone. Hare Krishna.
Very nice of you. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna, I think are there any other questions? Mataji, just a very quick question. So in Kali Yuga, people lack the love in their hearts and they become hard-hearted. So how do you advise them? What do you do to tell them to, you can't expect them to love Krishna or the devotees or the devotee of the devotee or serve them because they themselves don't feel loved. So how do you deal with that situation?
They just have to be in that association where their heart is moved. We have to become role models so they understand what is love, because everybody wants love. Nobody, see, if somebody is doing something, even if he's earning money, he wants to earn to please his family, right? He wants to take them on a vacation. It's not that love is missing in them. Everybody wants to show, if he doesn't have family members, then he will show love to a puppy, a dog. Nobody can stay in the world without love. This love is an essential element. It's just that we are showing love to different things which are not important. Those things are very transient, temporary. Those things we are showing love, thinking it to be permanent. I'm showing love to a puppy, thinking, oh, this puppy is going to reciprocate and help me when I need, or it's giving me the satisfaction. Maybe it's temporary. It can give you whatever, but the eternal happiness can be given by a person who's a reservoir of happiness. That person only can give you that eternal happiness. He will etamam prapatyanti, right? Whatever you do to Krishna, he reciprocates accordingly. If you think Krishna to be a stone, he will reciprocate. Yeah, you think me to a stone, then no problem. You come back to this world. Again, you go through this birth, death. Oh, you think me to be transcendental, then you will also go to a transcendental abode. So depending upon your mentality, he reciprocates that love. If you are very fond, I cannot eat without Krishna eating. Oh, 5 minutes late to offer bhoga. Oh my God, my Krishna will be very hungry. You're having that mood. Krishna is looking at that intention. Oh, 5 minutes late. Oh my God, what am I doing? Why am I being occupied in so many unnecessary things? If you're really having from your heart that kind of mood, Krishna will reciprocate. Ah, she cares for me so much. I have to care for her. I have to do something for her. So like, he's unbelievable. Only thing is we have to be careful about Vaishnava aparat. As long as we keep the Vaishnavas happy, Krishna is happy because they are his heart. They chant Krishna's name. We should not judge them. We should not do that. Any kind of Vaishnava aparat will just put him down. He will not come to you if you're doing that. That's the only thing we have to stay away from. Always be pleasing to Vaishnavas. Just take their word, do whatever they want you to do, not make any offense, don't judge them. As long as we are doing that and having this mood with Krishna, we will just have love. We should not be duplicitous and unoffensive. As long as we don't have these two things with the Vaishnavas, then we are good, Mataji. We are safe.
Thank you very much.
And as to your question, Mataji, the point is that person has to be in that association to understand what is love. And we have to be role models for that person who doesn't have love. He can become hard-hearted, but a hard-hearted person can change. Even a hunter who wanted to kill a rabbit, he changed his mind because the rabbit surrendered to the hunter. Looking at him, he changed. I mean, I told you the story, I think, in previous classes where the rabbit surrendered to a hunter and hunter didn't want to kill that rabbit because it surrendered. So when we take that approach of showing love to the person who's even hard-hearted, then his heart will definitely melt. We just have to be examples. So, just we have to be examples so that that person's heart can be transformed. Immediately, he can't take up to Krishna consciousness. That will not happen. It's very rare, Mataji. As I told you, we've been having this offensive mood for a long time now. To have the favorableness towards Krishna, we need to get some Agyat Sukriti, do some service, do some Vaishnava. Then only we can, get to Krishna consciousness. It takes a little bit of a time and effort, but eventually a person can come. It's very rare though. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Mataji. Indulekha Mataji, you have something to add on? Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji, it's nice, whatever Mataji has just explained, but I think your question is how to change. If a devotee, you don't need to put love. Love is already there. You don't need to change. But if your question is like toward like mundane people, like materialistic people, there's one thing you can do. You see, we go on the street, we do Harinam. Let the Harinam, the sound enter their ears, the Shravanam, and then give them prasadam. If not in this lifetime, you are putting the beej, the Bhakti-lata beej in their heart, the seeds you're already implanting. So in next life, maybe they will come, but don't expect, as Mataji said, don't expect for people to change overnight, because 8.4 million species of life we have been in through, we don't know what we have done, we don't know where we have been. It is not easy for some people can do it who have been doing bhakti in their past life, they will just grab it. But some people who haven't done bhakti in their past life, it will be very difficult. Our job is chant Maha Mantra, let them hear, be prasadam. Right? Once you see that they're interested, then we start slowly inculcating this knowledge to them and give Bhagavad Gita to read and be the Bhagavatam and all. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you very much for that advice. Very practical advice. I think we have to end the session now because we have overshooted by 12 minutes. Thank you all for joining in today. And thank you, Mataji, for taking us through this journey. And we really enjoyed the examples and the stories. And I think it prolonged because of all the stories that you told us. We were enjoying and thinking that we were a part of that as well. So let us all unmute and chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra once in glorification of Radhika Kasturi Mataji. Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Panchakalpataru.
Kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhyeva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo
Vaishnavibhyo
namo
Namo Namaha.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
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 A grace.
Grantharachimata Bhagavatam ki jai.
All glories to the assembled devotees. All
Jai.
glories to Srila
Jai.
Prabhupada,
Hare
Guru Maharaj.
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. Thank you,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Mataji.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for taking over. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.